Cayenne has started trading when he was 21. And Cayenne, how much did you start trading with? How much did you put into your Axie Select account?
Well, to begin with, I only had $500, which is the minimum amount you need to have in order to start trading in the seed stage.
Think about that, guys. Cayenne started with $500 in his Axie Select account, which is the minimum. And now he's funded with $500,000 and he's in the Pro 500 stage, which is unbelievable. How long did this take you, Cayenne?
It took me around 9 months of consistent trading. And it's crazy to think that just within less than a year, I was able to do that.
Think about how Cayenne started trading with Axie Select when he was 21. He's 22 right now. He started with $500, which is the minimum. And in 9 months, he's funded with $500,000. And I believe that in order to receive this funding, especially with a company with Axie Select, consistency is really key. It's not about hitting that one big trade or that two big trades. With any of these prop firms, in Axie Select included, you have to be consistent and you have to be able to show them day in and day out that you can make these profits in order to reach this Pro 500 stage. So we're going to talk to Cayenne today, learn a little bit about how he got into trading at such a young age and a little bit about how he's trading and his trading strategy today. How did you get into trading, Cayenne?
I was studying chemistry at the time and I had some money left over and I was wondering what I should do with it because money runs out eventually. So unless you're investing it or putting it into something that's going to give you money, then it's going to run out at some point. And I didn't have much to begin with. I think I had around $2,000 or something like that. But I just needed to start doing something with the money. And fortunately, one of my childhood best friends, he really got into quantitative trading, which basically means trading with the use of statistics and the use of not just logic, but maths and calculations. And I really got into that. And what I did at the same time I was studying university, I was also doing my best to learn quantitative trading. And I did put uni aside. I set it aside. I focused on bots exclusively, which is what I trade with, trading bots. And it's safe to say that's finally paid off.
So from start to present, it's only really sounds like it's been probably close to a year and change that you went from not knowing anything about trading to becoming such a successful funded trader. Am I correct?
That is correct, indeed.
Let's talk a little bit about what you trade. You started off with bot trading. Your friends taught you to analyze the markets, to develop quantitative bots. Was there a specific market that he taught you or showed you? And is that still the same market you're trading?
I believe we started with Euro USD just because at the time it was the most volume at the time. But it's extremely difficult to find bots for that, especially because there's not a lot of volatility compared to other markets. So then we started looking into Bitcoin, which is something that we do until this day. And more recently, last year, we started doing gold. And so far, this has been our main instruments that we use because gold is very volatile. There's a lot of volume in it as well. And more, well, all-time highs all over this year. So it's very nice to trade in gold.
Sorry, so you started with Forex and then you went to crypto. You do a little bit of crypto still, but now you're mostly in gold. Is that correct?
Gold and also stocks, I would say, because I'm doing NASDAQ as well. NASDAQ is very volatile, so it's nice to trade as well.
You're doing NASDAQ CFD?
Yeah, NASDAQ cash, yeah.
So it sounds like if you've got a bot and you're trading with quantitative models, would you consider yourself a day trader versus a swing trader? You know, how would you describe the length of time you remain in a trade?
I consider myself a swing trader. I don't believe in day trading personally. I think that I swear there's like a statistic that says that 90% plus of the day traders end up losing their money in the long run. And that is true. So the way that you can circumvent this is through making longer trades that span over a few days or even a few weeks. Well, I personally do a few days. And just by doing that, the odds of you actually end up profitable in the long run are going to skyrocket. The way that I have multiple bots, each of them have the different rate of trading. So some of them have a very low winning percentage, but a payout ratio of like 4 or 5. So I'm going to win 5 times what I lose, but with a very low winning percentage. But some bots, they win a lot. So they have a high win percentage, but of course their payout's going to be 1.5. So it really depends. There's no right or wrong as long as the expectancy is good. So you have to have one of those.
Do you have one that makes a more meaningful contribution to your overall performance than the other?
I'd say low winning percentage and high payout in general, yeah. They tend to be nicer. That doesn't mean That's my personal bias. That's what I've observed.
Because, you've got two different bots, one that's a high win ratio, one that is a little bit more active, I would say, that is a lower win ratio. Did your decision to choose Axie Select, which has very little restrictions on bot trading, no consistency rules and things like that, did that play a role in your decision to pick Axie Select versus some of the other prop firms that may be more restrictive on EAs or charge you more, or they may be more restrictive on the consistency rules? The flexibility of Axie make it more appealing.
The thing with other prop firms, I've been with the biggest in the market and I still am. The problem with them is that they will advertise them as having no rules and all you have to do is follow the daily drawdown and you'll be fine. They want me to just risk, I think, 0.5% to 1% a trade. And if they don't, I'm going to lose the account. So it makes me think, because I've never lost more than the daily drawdown. And now they're showing me this hidden rules that they've always had. So the thing is, my personal belief is that prop firms in general, they don't want you to profit because they don't make money with you. They don't copy your trades, actually. They just want you to fail. So this is why they have a lot of hidden rules, even the top ones in the market. Whereas with Axie, I've never had a problem with any consistency rules or just hidden things to make you lose. Nothing. You guys really give us the freedom to just trade however we want.
How long did it take you to figure that out? Because most people attack the flashy advertising of a lot of the big and small prop firms that are out there versus Axie, which is completely free. Maybe that gave you a little bit more incentive to try, because aside from what you're losing in the market, there's no loss or no fee that you're paying. So how long did it take you to figure that out? Because many people don't.
Yeah, well, I really like what Axie does with the performance fees and the actual initial fee they have to pay, because you don't actually pay anything. You just deposit and that's your own money in the market. So you can withdraw that at any time. Whereas with prop firms, that's how they make money. It took me 1 year of trading. I remember I started with little to no knowledge of prop firms last year. And I got into some very shady prop firms, got an exquisite amount of payouts they've never paid. This happened like 3 times with different prop firms. And when I saw you guys were an actual broker that were licensed and you had a history, I think since 2007 you guys exist, Axie. So all that added up and I just realized, all right, I should probably be with some company that's most trustworthy.
Question that a lot of people ask and they struggle with is that with Axie, the edge score is a little confusing and maybe a little intimidating as an idea of what they need to achieve in order to get funded. Can you share any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the edge score at first can be intimidating because what is consistency, what is risk, what is everything. But once you start trading, it's self-explanatory, like you will understand. And it's just simple. If you are consistent in making profits and managing your risk, then your edge score will be high. You don't need to overthink it. You don't have to be imagining, oh, but what about this? What about that? Just be consistent and you'll be